The Garbage Bag Full of Popcorn podcast.
The Garbage Bag Full of Popcorn podcast.
Yeah, I mean, hey, we got more niche sports scandals going on to report on.
What's
Which
the
one?
report?
Dude, I got my finger on the pulse. You guys haven't heard about the cornhole tournament scandal?
No.
I can't believe that sport is so sacred. I can't believe that
Yeah.
there would be any
Seems like
tomfoolery. What
yeah.
happened?
Seems like
the-
a lot of stand-up guys involved in that sport. I couldn't believe they'd be doing something.
Yeah,
Well-
a sport that requires you have a fucking drink in your hand
Yeah.
and
A
blow in a
drinking game.
2-4. Sir, can you? We breathalyze every competitor before every event, and if you're
And you're
not
not drunk
blowing
enough.
above a 0.1,
Yeah.
you can't
Yeah,
compete.
You cannot compete.
Yeah, both the guys on the team had vibrators up their ass. It's a trend. I don't know.
How does that help with cornhole? Well,
Oh,
it
you'd
helps
be
with cornhole.
surprised.
Everybody's doing it and everybody's winning. I got to get on board.
Yeah, I saw those chess players and I thought this is a pretty good idea.
No, it was super funny in the report. They were like, yeah, they were thinning their bags. They're not using real bags, but nobody cared because when they went to go check the opponents, they were cheating too.
Everyone's skimming a little off the top in the cornhole world.
Professional cornhole rocked by Baggate cheating
Rocked.
scandal.
Oh, dude.
Somehow
Yeah.
I feel that
Yeah.
might be a bit of a.
They should have said
reach.
sandbag.
Hey man, the
the
sport
writer?
was just getting off the ground. Sad to see him take a fall like that.
Bunch of good guys, blue collar
Yeah.
guys, really hard workers.
Hardworking. The production team that put that broadcast together, I feel bad for them.
How on earth are you allowed to bring your own bags?
Bags
Because
that don't get
it's-
checked.
Because it's a beer league done in a backyard by
Yeah.
Billy Bob, who is taking $10 a head and is going, I don't care.
Dude, these
He's telling them,
pictures
I don't
are
have enough bags.
fucking hysterical.
I don't have enough
it-
bags to supply. you guys.
They're wearing like NASCAR outfits with a bunch of sponsors all over them.
Oh,
But the
yeah.
sponsors are all
come
like
on, we need that.
Bush's Beans, Johnsonville
Yes.
sausages. It's all like fat
Yes.
loser
Yes.
Janko
Oh.
jeans.
Brendan
Yeah.
Fraser.
Brendan Fraser. He's the sponsor.
He's the
Long
main-
time.
It's at his house.
Yeah, it's all like hunting and guns and their sponsors.
Color
The
me
name
shocked.
on it's like Jimmy Dean sausage on the actual cornhole board thing.
They got the same guy from the fish one. We got weights in the bags.
I can't believe they couldn't secure that Evian water sponsorship. When was the last time either of you guys went to Six Flags?
I've never
gonna-
been.
You've
gonna
never
segue.
been? Yeah.
It
that's
always
very right.
seemed like too trashy.
Oh, buddy. Let me tell you. I took a trip the other day.
Did you get trash?
And
That good, huh?
dude, it was like being part of it. I mean, obviously, if you like roller coasters, the rides are fucking sick. But another old man moment where you realize that after like 4 of these things, your brains are just scrambled eggs, and you're fucking reaching for the nearest chair you can find. But
Yeah,
it was like,
there's chairs on the roller coasters.
yeah, on the next ride. But like, yeah, there was like, it was fucking honestly dead. So Six Flags Halloween Fright Fest, a ghost town in more ways than one. Yeah. And honestly, like, so I think the park had like 3 different water rides, all of them not running because they're just like, oh yeah, right, like running water, fuck yeah, forget that, we're not doing that.
That's way too much power.
But meanwhile, Wild Rivers right down the street just opened up. Go on over there.
I'm like waiting in a line to get on a ride, and I asked like one of the guys that was working the ride, like, hey, what's that other ride over there? Because it had like a lot of loops in it. It looked kind of cool. And the guy goes, oh, you don't want to go on that ride. It's like, yeah, like what? He's like, oh, that ride's called Viper. I'd say go on that ride if you want to go home with a broken neck today. Yeah. This is like
Who's
the
this guy?
first ride that.
This guy Ezra Miller.
Yeah. No, not because of the ride, because Ezra Miller sits behind you in the ride. Exactly.
Yeah, the ride
It's a
doesn't
new-
go anywhere.
It's
All
a
right,
new
bring
role
him
he's working.
out.
Exactly. He's working on a role called Viper.
I'm pretty sure that man would be fired immediately if they knew he was telling people that rides break their neck.
Yeah.
And then he goes up to his friend and he goes, "That guy thinks I work here. I told him don't go on that ride." It's hilarious.
Yeah. And they also told me that the Riddler ride, Riddler's Revenge, was closed because something like went flying off the ride, like something fell off the ride. And then
Jim Carrey flew off the rails.
mainly the part where I got basically entirely put into a sucker deal because first of all, parking was $40. Yeah, and then so like from my
It's more than Disneyland.
That's how
from
they
my
get you.
yeah that
You
was
may be asking yourself, how does Six Flags
So-
stay open all year?
yeah so that was the first frightening part, but then
Yeah, quite the October's Fright Fest.
yeah so $40 before you get through the gate, $40.
Oh, I'm frightened. How much is the water going to be?
And then based on my previous pre-2020 like going to theme park experiences, I was like, you know what, I've been to these Fright Fest before, so I'm gonna get the express front of the line maze tickets.
Wheelchair.
Yeah for the extra money I got the wheelchair tickets. And
Oh, I thought you were gonna bring an actual wheelchair.
And then
No,
you
they-
realized that no one was in the park and that was totally unnecessary.
Yeah.
yeah, that was completely unnecessary. Absolute sucker deal. That was another thing, is that they have these like fast passes to get to the front of the lines, and then if you go on the app to look at wait times for the rides, they're like X2 60-minute wait.
You're
And
coming
you're
on the busiest day. Busiest day.
You
I
go
can't
there,
believe
you're
you're even
walking on. Yeah, you go there, you're walking on. So they're hoping people are like, oh shit, 60 minutes, I gotta go. Like you don't even check. They're praying people don't even check. So they go spend $80 on an all-day fast pass that you don't need. So the VIP ticket I had, didn't need it. Every line to every maze, that was the regular line, 5 minutes. So not even really that like great of an investment. And then 6 mazes, we bang out the first 5 pretty quick, and then go to the 6th maze, it's closed, not even open. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, this is weird. Like, this is where the line would be. This is the sign, but there's no lights on, nothing. And I'm like, well, maybe let's ask somebody. Once the park goes into Fright Fest, all the people that work there, gone. It's just scary people now. Yeah, it's just scary people now. And so you're not going to go up and ask that guy, like,
Hey, man,
oh, hey,
can you get out of character for 1 second?
Yeah,
I'm trying to ask you a question.
He's going to give you nothing, yeah. He's trying to scare you. So
We
then,
thinks that the 6th maze was shut
Okay.
down.
Okay.
We thinks that the 6th maze was shut down
Thank you.
because
Okay, thank you.
absorbent costs on the back end.
I get it. Okay, thank you. I'll find it myself.
Me thinks that somebody over leveraged with all these mazes.
I think it's over here. I'm gonna go over here.
Me thinks that the owner's being bankrupt soon.
I'm gonna go ask the retard clown over here.
So I got back to the front of the park and finally found a person that worked there. And I went, hey, so-and-so maze? I think it was called Aftermath. And she goes, oh, yeah. What about it? And I go, oh, I just was over there and it's closed. And she's like, what?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. And she's like, oh, okay, let me ask my supervisor about that. And then she comes back and she's like, yeah, it's closed. I had no idea.
Employee mutiny. Everybody left.
Yeah, like they advertise around, like, this whole holiday thing is based around one day, Halloween, and I went on Halloween the day, and they still can't even get that 6th maze open.
Talked about this. It's from your guy Guillermo del Toro.
I can't believe you brought that up. I'm so glad you brought that up because I know exactly what your guys, the cabinets of whatever stupid shit.
Cabinets of Curiosity.
Yeah. So I don't care. But Danny had it on. She was watching it, and I'm doing something else, and I'm chiming in, and I'm like, whoa, this is comically bad acting. I cannot believe how comically bad. Whatever that first episode was, it had the Buster Scruggs guy in it.
He's from Heavyweights. That's what made me think of it. He's from the beginning where he's like, hey, Jer. Yeah, crazy.
him and everybody else in whatever. That's the only thing that I saw from it. It was comically bad acting, and when I say that, that's a generous statement. It is one of. I couldn't believe what I was watching. I'm like, I can't believe that this is passed for something. Like, it was crazy.
Him specifically, the
Everybody.
Where Brother Were Out There guy. I was like,
Yeah.
he's like being really bad. Like
It's-
is this intentional? He's like, there's like, he's vaguely racist, but
And
that
he's
has
trying to be like a
nothing to do
tough
with
guy.
plot.
He's like,
Yeah, but
like
he's
says
tiny.
lines like, leave the car running for me, or like
Oh,
stuff
man.
like that.
like
Like,
he's
what?
and the whole episode makes no sense and doesn't go anywhere. And then you're like, oh wow, I mean, it's been like 45 minutes and there's no sense of plot here. Like, and this, because it was the first episode, so I was like, is this a long movie? Are the other episodes going to continue on what this guy's doing? No, it just ends, and you're like, so I guess that was the show.
It's nothing. It's
Just random occurrences.
It's please, I dare anybody to defend the acting on it. It is so bad. It is.
Some may say it's 100% pointless.
It's crazy how bad it is. It's crazy how bad it is. And I would say that about Barbarian, dude. Like, I would love if anybody defended that movie as being a good movie to me. Like, I don't see any redeeming qualities from it whatsoever.
But so, Kyle, I guess I just didn't even really know who Guillermo del Toro is. Like, so Tyler, the idea is it's just like, I think it's like 8 or 9 different little vignettes.
Yeah,
so
isn't
each
Eric
episode,
Andre in one of them?
Yes,
and Eric Andre's in one of them.
Yeah,
I haven't gotten to that one yet.
I think the trailer.
I haven't gotten to that one yet.
That's such a
and
no
so it's
thank
like
you.
each
Like,
one's like is self-contained. But so basically he comes out at the beginning of every episode, and dude, he's like 500 pounds.
Yeah,
I had no idea. So he comes out, he's got some accent. He's like, welcome to my cabinet of curiosities. I'm going to step away from the camera now. Like, he just introduces like the director.
It's hard getting him out of frame. It's probably tough getting him out of frame.
Like, half the show is getting him out of frame. Each episode is bookended with him getting out of the scene.
There's nowhere on this set where you're not in the fucking range of the camera, Guillermo. Guillermo, these shoots are taking 3 times as long as they need to. We only have such a small space to use because you're taking up the rest of it.
Can we edit out any of this? No.
You must keep every part of it.
You must keep my exit. As you must keep my entrance. Add fat shaming to the long list of offenses.
We done so much worse.
Let's do a teaser for something we're never gonna watch. I can't remember. I saw like a 3-minute trailer for this blockbuster thing, Atrocity, that's coming out on Netflix. It's apparently a show.
Oh,
I have no idea.
It looks painfully unfunny. Like, painfully unfunny. Like, and this is what I wanted to mention, and I saved it when we were talking about it earlier, texting. You notice these things where they have these this like the silent stings where laughter's supposed to be in a trailer, right? Where you drop off the sound and go like, somebody says, I thought we were going to be going to work today. And they drop the sound, and that's supposed to be like the laughter break
moment. Yeah.
They're doing that, but for nothing. Just like, just words being said. And you're like, was that supposed to be a joke that I'm not understanding? Like, why are they giving me the silent comedy punch that makes no sense?
We're trying something new.
We're trying it with ordinary dialogue.
Yeah,
I just don't get what episode to episode is. It's just no customers come in, and they're just
sitting on their phone. Well, my guess is that they saw that last. Well, that was what I was thinking, is that Netflix has a documentary called The Last Blockbuster. So they must have known about that.
A lot of
And it's like a real story.
I mean, it's not an accident. They're trying to do it, obviously, from that, but it's just like,
Was that obvious? I thought it was just like, wouldn't it be funny if there was one block? Wouldn't it be funny if people still worked at a Blockbuster? I honestly think we're like, fuck you.
no,
Yeah, we know that there is
they're
a
basing it on
Blockbuster.
the actual. Okay,
They
but
put
that's
the
not.
Blockbuster on Netflix, but Blockbuster's out of business because Netflix. So Netflix is trolling.
They just keep making
they
Blockbuster
basically-
movies.
Yeah, they basically put Blockbuster out of business.
I just don't get what they think is going to happen. Do they think that the show's never going to get canceled ever? Like, how many episodes can you do of this?
But that question is still an anomaly because certain shows will get canceled from Netflix, but then other trash will be on there for years. And I don't think anyone knows when or why they pull the plug. That reminds me, have any of you guys seen John Carpenter's Vampires?
Of course. It's
With-
crazy bad.
with James Woods.
Yes,
Yeah, it's
of
crazy
course.
bad.
What the fuck
Yeah, he's
is
wearing,
that?
he's wearing like a leather jacket and aviators the whole time.
He's like a cool guy, and then he
Yeah.
like shows up at this half the fucking movie is shot in this hotel room with a bunch of hookers. Whoever
Yeah.
made this movie was just like, look,
John
I
Carpenter.
paid these guys for 3 hours.
Yeah, it's just
and
it's
now
just James.
I'm gonna get my money's worth.
It's just James Wood and John Carpenter on a fucking Thursday night.
Hey, I got a great idea. We should
Yeah.
film this.
What's
Yeah.
the plot? I don't know. You're a vampire.
The
All right.
hookers are here.
pull my-
You're a
Can I
vampire.
pull my
I
pants
know.
down? Of
I
course.
know. I dressed like this on purpose, and you told me to do this. I didn't know we were filming a movie, but okay, let me get into character, I guess.
he was like, there's no things are happening, and there's like a vampire, but he doesn't seem to be all that interested in the plot of the movie. He's just kind of wandering around from scene
Yeah.
to scene in cowboy boots. I was like, what am I watching? This makes no sense. I thought James Woods was in it, so I was like, okay, maybe this is a good movie. Boy, was I wrong. I don't even know if you
Oh.
can call it a vampire movie. It's just things happening, and because somebody points to somebody and goes, they're a vampire. Oh, okay.
They display no traits of a vampire.
It's just a guy.
It's just
Well,
yeah.
it's 3:00 p.m. outside, and
Yeah. Hey, that guy's a vampire.
But it's like immediately, like the movie has barely even started yet, and
Man,
James
this garlic
Woods
is really good.
and James Woods' buddy's like, "You want to get some hookers?" It's like, oh, whoa! And they can clearly only get like Z-list celebrities to be naked, so these hookers are like the most haggard ladies you've ever seen. Like, why are these people in a movie?
Hey,
Why are they getting FaceTime?
it's
what
so
we
funny
learned
that you-
here-
Sorry, go ahead.
hookers and vampires, they're on the same sleep schedule, so it worked out for the film.
No, the guy from Whitest Kids You Know wanted to write this thing about a woman catching red flags. And so he made this situation about a guy and a girl being double booked in an Airbnb. But then he probably got the bright idea of, oh, what if she finds a torture chamber dungeon and goes down there? So I'll call this Barbarian. But then later on, I'm going to have some inbred monster naked chicken.
Yeah,
there.
we added that later.
Yeah, and she's gonna hunt at nighttime. Barbarian.
That was
My original script, it had some revisions.
Yeah.
There's
These were a
nothing
part
I
of-
see in this thing.
These were a part
There's
of the
nothing to
reshoot.
do with barbarians.
It's you partying with a robot. Dude, okay, I'll base it on memory. I watched it like what, a little over a week ago or a couple weeks ago, but just based on my memory, when it starts off, it's some chick that goes double booked to an Airbnb because she has a job interview in Detroit. And then it's revealed that Skarsgård's there, but he's super awkward and people know him as Pennywise. So they're like, he's the bad guy, the way they have it set up. But it was actually just double booked and they're both in there. And then she wakes up and goes to her interview, and it's revealed when it's daytime that the house that they Airbnb'd is the only house. All the other houses are deteriorating. They're broken down. It's just shanty town. But for some reason, this is the only house that's in this entire neighborhood. And It's available for Airbnb,
And it's bookable.
Two people booked it at the exact same time, and neither one of them did research. Neither one of them did Google Maps. Neither one of them,
that too.
you know. And everybody in Detroit knows about this area. She goes to the interview, and the chick who interviews her goes, "You're staying in that neighborhood? Like, what are you doing?" Like, everybody in Detroit knows this is a bad area. There's got to be reviews. Who just goes on the line and just goes, "I want to book this room right here. Okay, I'm done. Oh, ready to go on my trip." You know, like,
you
Goes on the line.
I think you're less likely to find a good area in Detroit.
yeah. So then she goes back, and she has to, so now they're working backwards. They go, okay, how is she going to find the dungeon? She has to go down to the basement. Why does she have to go to the basement? She needs toilet paper because there's none in the bathroom. You know,
that's what I was
like,
wondering in the trailer. Is like the trailer shows her progressing deeper and deeper into this dungeon basement area, and I'm just like, why?
But it's just these long, dragged out scenes of just it's anyway. And then they show this room, and it's like a torture room, and then she leaves, and then Skarsgård she like locks herself in, and then like Skarsgård comes back. And then they both go down there, and he's yelling for help, and you think maybe he's baiting her or whatever. And then he comes up and he goes, "There's someone else in here." And then you just see this inbred monster naked chick come and bash his head against the wall and kill him. And that's supposed to be like some big old shocker thing, but I was internally laughing hysterically, like inside.
So Tyler, they very tastefully start with decrepit old tits as the like jump scare, which I actually thought was kind of funny.
It's hilarious, but this movie I didn't laugh like that, like, oh, that's so funny. I laughed like, dude, this is so cornball, dude. Like,
so they show you the old lady tits at the beginning, and then
then pan up to her face at the end.
Well,
so
Ryan
they set something up and then they pay it off.
No. Meaning like, so Skarsgård's like, help, and so they start going the other way, which makes absolutely no sense. And then like it's one of these like horror movie, just like kind of jump scare, like snap camera.
So you're saying the killer reveal is
the killer reveal is tits only
instead of old lady tits,
and then it finally kind of pans up to her weird face that looks like an alien, and then they cut to Justin Long, and that's where I turned it off.
She's inbred, so picture the Hills Have Eyes type of like monster type of creature.
It's more.
And so I don't know which one comes first, the Justin Long thing, or like they do this like fisheye lens where they like jump back to like the 70s or something, and they show this guy go to like a grocery store, and it's kind of revealed that he's watching these ladies and he's a killer, and he goes back to his house and he has the dungeon where he basically is taking women back there and he's torturing and killing women. That's interesting. That's actually why that.
But how does that tie into the rest of the story?
Exactly. So then it's revealed that like, so she gets trapped in, and then she tries to escape, or as she's coming back from her interview, some hobo guy is coming after her, being like, "Don't go in there." And then that guy like saves her. He takes her out of like the basement, like because she's running away from the monster or whatever. And that's later on. And he tells her like, "Oh, she only comes out at nighttime." Like the hobo knows about it. People know about this monster thing that's killing people anyway. So then he tells her that guy's a killer, the killer who lives there, who's taking people back, taking the women back and killing, that he had one of the ladies, he impregnated her, she had a kid, he had incest kid after incest kid after incest kid after incest kid, and that's what made a super soldier. So like, you know, the military has got to.
So the killer guy only exists in the past.
No. So then Justin Long eventually, because it's his house, he just owns it, but then he has people that are using it for Airbnb or something. So then, but he loses out on all this shit because he raped a chick. And then, so he goes back to that house, and then he finds the basement in the dungeon super quick. Obviously, it's so easy
he lives
to find
there.
this thing. It's literally like, it's a rope it's a rope hanging out of a wall. Who didn't see this? Like, it's the most obvious thing to see. Anybody who's down there would see it immediately and go, this is kind of weird. Oh, there's a fucking torture chamber down here, you know? And then when he goes down there, he sees the killer guy and he's all old and like, but they have this really stupid part, and I don't know why horror movies do this now, is when he's going to the thing, he's looking in the darkness, and it's this super long scene of like darkness, and you just see the creature just kind of coming in through the light, and then goes back into the darkness. And it's just like, I don't know, man, it's just cornball. And like, it's supposed to be like the monster's afraid of the killer guy, but when he sees the killer guy in the bed, he's like decrepit. He can't do anything. Like, why would you even be afraid of this old guy who's like like shitting himself? And then so by the way, this is a super long explanation. It's Ryan, you're gonna have to like cut like a lot of this out.
This is some convoluted bullshit. This sounds like this movie.
And there's like, I'm just explaining the entire plot beat for beat. I just realized that I was doing that.
So it's overly complicated and long, but then to add to that, every scene goes on for 2 minutes longer than it needs to. Like the first 40 minutes felt like 4 hours because it was like, yeah, Kyle said it, like every shot is super long. So you got to pan down the hallway and that's got to take 5 minutes, right? And like, all these stupid awkward interactions between the chick and Skarsgård are like just one or two would have sufficed, right? The wine scene that Kyle's talking about would have been completely fine. They got to do like five different ones of that.
You got to keep building on that awkwardness.
But it's for nothing. They build no relationship whatsoever, and it's just like, why am I supposed to care about either one of these guys? The dude dies, and I'm like, I don't care. Why do I care about this guy dying?
I think it's supposed to be like a narrative red herring where you're supposed, to your point, there's no explanation on who these people are, but I think you're supposed to be like thinking they're going to develop that. And then so when Skarsgård dies, it's like, oh, they tricked me.
Nah, because movies are just random occurrences. Not really anything you need to know about before or after.
No, before or after. Yeah.
What happened in this moment is all that fucking like where things are just happening. And
dude, and then they're using the Tarantino font, and it's just like,
and then they just rip off fonts. And
this guy had it out for this movie since the Tarantino font.
Yeah.